We have 11,000 Palestinian political prisoners inside Israeli dungeons. This cannot continue. It is not allowed to continue. And we are here fighting, and as Isam said right from the beginning, we're not commemorating. We are celebrating. Every Palestinian one of us here, from Haifa, Jaffa, Tahmata, Tarshiha, every single Palestinian village. They destroyed more than 500 Palestinian villages. They thought they could erase us. They thought they could erase our history, and they have not managed to, and we will continue our fight until we return. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Let me hear you. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Let me see your fists. Free, free Palestine! 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 One day, I will invite every one of you to my home in Haifa when we return.
Mr. Harper said that Canadian values are Israeli values, and the Israeli values are Canadian values. Do you agree with them? Do you agree with them? Mr. Harper, the Canadian values are those of the Canadian Union of the Public Employees. The Canadian values are those of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers. The Canadian values are those who are anti-apartheid, anti-racism. We have with us Elium Perpeno to speak on behalf of the Canadian Union of Public Employees.
Thank you very much to Palestine House, to the Coalition Against Israeli Apartheid, and to all the members of the Palestinian community for organizing this important rally, for inviting us to speak. First of all, on behalf of the Canadian Union of Public Employees Ontario Division, I want to acknowledge, which something that has already been said today, the resistance, the resilience, and the courageous fighting spirit of the Palestinian people, who despite forced expulsion and ethnic cleansing in 1948, despite decades of the worst, harshest military occupation, and despite being discriminated as second and third class citizens under Israeli apartheid, Palestinians continue to exist as a people 60 years after the NAKBA, holding steadfast to their goal of self-determination and justice. Let's give it up for the Palestinian people. Well, the fact that there are so many of us here from different communities commemorating the NAKBA is a powerful testament to this Palestinian resistance. And our presence here is irrefutable proof of the re-emergence of the Palestinian solidarity movement. And this movement is building and growing, as has been mentioned, in universities, in high schools, in communities, and in unions in Ontario and across Canada. I want to mention and focus a little bit on the solidarity with Palestinians in the labor movement. Rafif already mentioned QP Ontario in 2006 passed Resolution 50 supporting the Palestinian people's right to self-determination, including the right of return of Palestinian refugees, and supporting a boycott, divestment, and sanctions campaign. In mid-April, the Canadian Union of Postal Workers became the first Canadian union, the first national union in North America to implement another resolution in support of the Palestinian people, in support of the right to self-determination, in support of the refugees to return. This is a very, very important step in terms of solidarity with Palestinian people within the labor movement. And it also shows that the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement here in Canada and globally is no longer just a pronouncement, a set of principles. It is actually policies within organizations, including important unions in Ontario and in Canada, that boycott, divestments, and sanctions is the nonviolent policy to implement, to lead for peace and justice for Palestinians. The Palestinian people have laid down a picket line, and they did so in July 2005, when over 170 Palestinian civil society organizations, including the labor movement, made a call to the international community to implement a boycott, divestment, and sanctions campaign against Israeli apartheid, similar to the BDS campaign that was implemented in the 70s and 80s against this racist South African regime. The fact that we're all here today is a clear sign that we have responded to that Palestinian call for solidarity. And just to wrap up, I want to say that we will continue in the labor movement and in other community organizations to answer the call coming from the Palestinian people in the next several months and years as this movement continues to grow and to build. We will stand firmly along Palestinians on this picket line for freedom and justice. We will not let anyone cross this picket line. As in South Africa, no concessions to Israeli apartheid. The boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement is the most dignified way to honor the memory of the victims of the NAKBA. Thank you very much.
2 days ago, the Israeli ambassador in Canada said that Muslims are becoming too large in Canada and I cannot get to any campus. This is the racist attitude. This is the apartheid attitude. And he is saying that those Muslims, they are not allowing me to speak in universities, in campuses. No, Mr. Baker, all the Canadian students, Muslims, Jewish, Christians will not allow you in any of their campuses because you are a representative of an apartheid state. You are a representative of a racist state. We have today Hala Farah from the Student Against Israeli Apartheid in New York University.